Hi guys, let me welcome you all to another lesson. So in today's lesson we focus on the cast diagram. So it says, given that sine theta is 4/5 and tan theta is smaller than 0, in other words tan theta is negative, determine with the aid of a diagram and without the use of a calculator, we need to find tan theta and 2 cos squared theta minus 1. So the first thing to do is we need to figure out where we're going to construct our triangle, in which quadrant. So a good place to start is to label the different quadrants, this being the first, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. And we also need to label our cast, because the cast will help us determine in which quadrant the trig ratios are positive or negative. So from the information provided, we can see that sine theta is positive, and tan theta is negative. So we start with sine theta. So sine theta is positive. This happens in the first and the second quadrant. And tan theta is negative in the second quadrant. Tan theta is positive in the third quadrant, and tan theta is negative in the fourth quadrant. So we choose the second quadrant because in the second quadrant sine theta is positive and tan theta is negative. So to construct our triangle, we're going to need three values. We're going to need our x value, our y value, and our hypotenuse. Or, in other words, we're going to need our adjacent side, our opposite side, and our hypotenuse. So remember, the adjacent side corresponds to x, our opposite side corresponds to y, and our hypotenuse corresponds to r. So fortunately, with the information that we have already, we have sine theta, by definition, is the opposite over the hypotenuse, which is y over r. And with the information provided, it is 4/5. So we have our opposite to be 4 and our hypotenuse to be 5. So we still need to find the value of x. So we can apply Pythagoras theorem. We know that the square of the hypotenuse is equals to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So we know the hypotenuse is 5 squared plus x squared, and the opposite end is 4 squared. So this is 25 is equals to x squared plus 16. So 25 minus 16 is equals to x squared. Therefore x squared is equals to 9. If you take the square root on both sides, x should be plus minus square root of 9, which is equals to negative 3. We reject positive 3 because we are working in the second quadrant. All x values are negative. That's why we accept x is equals to minus 3. So now we can draw our triangle. So our point, we can call it P, is 3 units on the negative x-axis. So it's somewhere there. And it's 4 units on the positive y-axis there. So it means our point is here. Our point is there. So we can draw our point. We can call our point P. So now we can construct our triangle, and we can already establish our angle theta. So for clarity, we can just label the different parts of the triangle. The hypotenuse is 5, the opposite side is 4, and the adjacent side is -3. -3. So now we can find tan theta. Tan theta from the acronym SOHCAHTOA is the opposite side of the adjacent side, and this is equals to, the opposite is 4 over -3, because with respect to the angle theta, this here is your opposite, it's opposite to the angle, and this here is your adjacent because it's next to the angle, and this here is your hypotenuse. So for the second part of the question, we need to find 2 cos squared theta minus 1. So we can write that as 2 cos squared theta minus 1 is equals to 2. And we know cos theta by definition is adjacent over the hypotenuse. But remember, we need to square this. Minus 1. We need to always apply this acronym SOHCAHTOA. So this is equals to 2. The adjacent side is -3 over the hypotenuse is 5 squared minus 1. So this is equals to 2 times -3 squared is 9 over 5 squared is 25 minus 1, and 2 times 9 is 18, so this is 18 over 25 minus, but 1 can be seen as 25 over 25, and 18 25ths minus 25 25ths is equals to -7 25ths. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys in the next one.